Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian. I'm here today at the Rock Island Auction House, and I have a cool surprise for you. It's a Burgess 12-gauge surprise. This is a Burgess 12-gauge pump-action folding shotgun. Let's take a closer look, shall we? So Andrew Burgess is one of the more notable and significant firearms designers in American history who's just really not well appreciated by most people. Most people never even heard of him. This shotgun was just one of many gun designs he had a hand in. Another notable one was the Colt Burgess lever-action rifle. So the problem that Andrew Burgess ran into when he wanted to make a repeating shotgun was that the idea of the pump handle was already patented. So he had to come up with some other way to do it. What he did was to make the actual grip of the gun the moving handle. So I'll cock this to make it easier. There's a bolt release right here in the front of the trigger. I push up on that with my finger, and then I can cycle the gun open, just like this, by moving this whole sleeve around the wrist of the gun. That allowed Burgess to avoid infringing on the existing patents. And frankly, it makes a pretty nice, effective shotgun once you get used to it. It's something that looks weird today, but frankly, at the time this was designed, there's not really any reason to see this as any more unusual than a pump up on the front grip of the gun. These were definitely capable of very impressive shooting. Some of the sales reps, one in particular, a man named Charlie Damon, was employed by the Burgess company, and he could do things like hit 6 thrown clays with this gun, all thrown at once before the first one hit the ground. He could fire it rapidly enough that you would have all 6 cartridges, all 6 empty cases in the air simultaneously. Obviously, I should say this has a 6-round tube magazine. He was a skilled exhibition shooter, but in his hands, you could do some really impressive stuff with this gun. So one of the cool anecdotes about this gun is a meeting that Charlie Damon, the Burgess salesman and exhibition shooter, well, he set up a meeting with Theodore Roosevelt, who was at the time the commissioner of the New York Police Department, which also meant he was in charge of the New York prison system. Damon apparently didn't really explain what the purpose of the meeting was or made up something, because he walked into Roosevelt's office with one of these guns in its holster, hidden under his coat, and loaded with a full magazine of blank shells. And introduced himself, they had a minute of small talk, and then reportedly Damon whipped out this gun and fired 6 blank rounds into the ceiling, which Roosevelt found quite impressive and probably quite loud. The idea that it was both such a fast gun to operate and such a concealable gun made a big impression. Roosevelt ended up ordering 100 or so of the guns for the New York prison system, which is one of, unfortunately, the few large orders for these shotguns. Ultimately, they were not all that successful. They went into production in 1894, which means that they were on the market right about the same time as the Winchester pump action, what would be the Winchester 1897, which was a phenomenally successful and popular gun, and it kind of just blew Burgess's gun out of the water. One cool thing about this is it is really about the first example of a pump-action shotgun designed specifically as a combat weapon, as a riot, a police, or a military gun. It has this relatively short barrel on it, has a 6-round tube magazine, and really in all ways it's designed to be fast to operate. You can see when the bolt is open, the underside of the gun is accessible for loading. When you close the action, the bottom's completely sealed up, so there's no way for dirt to get in there. The folding mechanism is quite easy to operate once you know how it works. We have this tab, which you lift up. That puts pressure on this leaf spring, which has a hook on the end. That hook engages with the top of the receiver and locks it in place. Once you've got that hook open, you can slide the barrel assembly down just slightly. So that's locked, that's unlocked. And then it pivots open like this. So what's holding it together are these locking ribs, which fit into these recesses in the top of the receiver. Once the gun is open like this, you can see there are a pair of cutouts, one in the wrist and one in the butt, so that the thing rests nice and compact. We can then take this lever, fold it back down, and because we have an angled surface here on the hook, a sharp motion of closing the gun will actually pop that lever into place and lock the gun up. That's not something we want to do very often on this, but that's how you would have originally done this if you needed to get the gun out in a hurry. Of course, they did also provide holsters with them. This one is in extraordinarily good shape, and the gun fits nice and smoothly into the holster, just like so. This makes for a very compact package. See, the belt loops are relatively high up here, so most of the weight is hanging below. And I wouldn't call this the most comfortable thing ever to carry, but you could very easily conceal this under a typical overcoat of the time. Ultimately, Burgess made this gun in a number of different variations, and the folding version is almost the rarest. Most of these guns were made in a fixed configuration, and most of them had longer barrels for sporting use. He did also make an extremely small number of rifle versions with this same pump action. Those were available in both .45-70 and .30-30 caliber, but those are extremely rare. Those are even rarer than the folding shotguns. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I've been wanting to take a look at one of these pump guns for a long time now, and it's really cool to be able to see this one. It is, of course, for sale here at Rock Island in the April 2015 premiere auction. If you'd like to own this yourself, have fun shooting it, have fun carrying it concealed if you have a permit to do so, well, it's absolutely an option. Go ahead and click the link below. That'll take you to Rock Island's catalog page for this gun, and check out their high-res pictures, their cataloger's description. Set yourself up an account online and place a bid on it, or come down here to Rock Island and join in the auction in person. Thanks for watching, and good luck.